Hello from late winter in western Mongolia. We're in Tosen Tinglesom in Zhaohuan province, and this is known for being one of the coldest places in the country. In Ulaanbaatar, in the capital, last week I was wearing just a light jacket. Here with wind chill it's still about 10 degrees Fahrenheit and there's a lot of snow coming down. We got a little bit of snow last night, and we probably will get more as March progresses. Snow doesn't really end until April, mid-April. And right now I'm with my friend Otkundorj, and we're herding the animals today up in the winter pastures. So I just wanted to show you what winter conditions are like and how you herd the animals differently this season compared to the other season. He's herding his sheep. So his horse he's going to go get his horse now to show you guys. But right now we're up in the hills right above the winter camp. I don't know if you could see it, but the winter camp that we're staying in is right down there. Everything is white down there except for the fences, so they kind of blend in. But the animals are all grazing up here in the mountains. I hope that you can see it. And right now we're in a mountain range called the Hangai Range. And during the winter, herders in Zhaohuan come up into these hills to herd the animals. The reason being is that if you go down in that direction, you don't see anything that's yellow or brown or black, indicating that it's not covered in snow. This is actually a little river valley right in front of us. There's a frozen river down there. And if you look up in the hills, it's windier and a little colder up here, but there's plenty of exposed ground for the sheep and the goats to graze on. And I walked up here. It was a nice hike. He rode up here on this horse, but he'll ride around periodically and move the animals to different places during the day. This is what he uses to both ride and herd. It's a leather and nylon whip that you use to kind of get the sheep to move where you want. And so we're spending the day up here just watching the animals, watching how they graze. This is what they call in anthropology participant observation, and it's a really cool place to be. It's really snowy, really cold here. Got down into the -40s a couple of weeks ago, but we've been spending the winter in this sheltered little valley. It keeps it a little warmer because you're a little higher up, and it also keeps you sheltered from the wind. Also, when you're camped in this little dish, this little depression in between these two flanks of the mountains behind us. In this direction, there's another group of families right over this ridge, and if you look in this direction, over this brown mountain in front of us, there's another group of families on the other side of that. And on the other side of the valley, if you drive in that direction, there's other groups of families. There are about 30 families in this one little valley that's called Shurte, and all of the families in this som stay in these little finger-like valleys up in here, and they spend the winter in here. And these are all tributaries to a big river that's called the Idur River that's down in that direction. And unlike the herders in Renchenlum that you saw a couple of months ago that we did the winter migration with, these herders are nomadic, but they don't move as much as those herders do. So we're in the winter camp right now. The spring camps are right down there, just a few kilometers away, down by those trees. That's where the river comes through. And all the herders stay along that river valley. And if you look, and you see those white mountains in the distance, at the base of those mountains are where the summer pastures are, on the banks of the Idur River. So, whereas herders in Renchenlum, where we were, move about 150 kilometers a year total, herders here typically move about 45 to 60 kilometers total from season to season. So they're still nomadic, but they're less nomadic, just because of the way the landscape is. So they move by truck. Nobody really uses pack animals like they do in northern Mongolia because it's really easy to drive a truck around here. So herders kind of camp together and then move around by truck, set up camp, and then they kind of lend equipment and transportation to each other as kind of like favors. Some of them pay each other, some of them just do it. So, but this is what you do every day during the winter. We're camped with 4 or 5 families, of which he's the head of one of them, and every day one of the household heads takes turns herding the animals. So if he won't be working tomorrow or the next day, one of the other 2 guys that's down there will herd. We'll take the animals up here. So it's a nice way to spend the winter. You only work 1 out of 4 days or 1 out of 3 days. Doesn't mean he doesn't have work to do down in camp, but it means that he doesn't have to come up here and freeze like we're doing today. So this is what life is like here during the winter. And it's difficult times are coming, really busy times over the next couple of weeks, because all of the pregnant animals are about to give birth. So if you see these animals up here, these are the ones that are strong enough to make it up here. There's another group of sheep and goats that are much weaker, that can't walk up here. And they need constant attention. They need hay, they need fodder, and they need to be looked after, kept warm, because they're either very, very, very pregnant, like about to give birth, which some of them already have given birth. In fact, in one of the gares down there, there are 2 boxes. 1 sheep and 1 goat gave birth to twins. So there's 4 little sheep and goats in one of the tents there, and they keep them inside with them. That's how much they care about their animals, because it keeps them sheltered and makes it easier for them to survive. So I'll give you a tour of the camp in just a little bit. There are 2 dogs down there that do not like me very much. One that's just pure white, and you can't see her in the snow. So it's really hard to walk around without almost getting bitten. And then 1 black dog that really sucks. He's a real asshole who tried to bite somebody the other day. So I'm kind of cautious for good reasons. You know, rabies shots are $300 a shot, and insurance doesn't cover them. So yeah, I'm trying not to get bitten. But when the dogs are used to me, I'll take you for a tour of what the winter camp is like. Anyway, my wife told me that these videos are too long and boring, so I'm going to cut it there for the sake of time and for the sake of your attention span. Have a good one. Bye.